Hello, my name is Alexandra Rossiter. My student number is 7100243226, and this is my presentation about my placement experience with Arcadis. Last year, I completed a professional placement with Arcadis in flood risk engineering. I thought I'd start this presentation off with a background image of the beautiful city of Plymouth, a city that was my home for the year and where I completed some of my work on coastal flood risk using the 2018 Plymouth Coastal Model. This was a really interesting project to work on, somewhere that I knew very well and could see the real-life applications of the work I was doing, which was very cool. I've split this presentation into 5 different chapters of the year. My journey, discussing why and how I went on placement and who with. My role, giving a brief insight into what I did in my role at Arcadis. My strengths and challenges faced, summarising feedback from colleagues throughout my placement. My development, the personal and professional development I have experienced throughout the year. And my future, where this placement has led me and what comes next on my journey. I decided to complete a professional placement at the start of my second year of university, due to 3 main reasons. Firstly, to develop a professional network within my field of interest, to not only see what job opportunities are available, but to get first-hand information and experience from colleagues as what it's like working in the industry and tips and tricks that they have. I also chose a placement to guide graduate decisions, whether to do a master's or go straight into a graduate job, what sector to go into, because I wasn't quite sure, and to help me learn more about what my passions were, to inform my final year module choices. And following that, I've gone into more specialised modules in my final year in both maths and geography, focusing on water management. A year working as a professional has also helped increase my understanding of potential career opportunities with my degree of flexible combined honours in mathematics and geography, which is something I wasn't really sure about beforehand. I began looking for companies that offer placements in the September of my second year, and by November I had applied to 12 placements. I was asked to interview for 2 companies in December, and by January I had been offered my place in the water management team with Arcadis, focusing on flood risk. Before accepting the offer from Arcadis, I did my research into reviews for the company on Rate My Placement, and the overwhelming positive feedback for the company was amazing. The placement also offered opportunities for me to focus on flood risk, but also to explore the wider water management industry, such as nutrient neutrality and sustainable drainage systems and that kind of thing. The team and company were extremely supportive as well, with my line manager getting in touch before my start date and meeting up for a coffee and chat about what my placement and my first few days would look like, as well as what I was hoping to get out of the year. My role within the water management team loosely fits into 4 categories. For every project, at the start of the project, whether for a private client, a local authority, public service or council, the first step was to see what data we have. This involved researching public information on things like the government website and OS mapping, and then getting in touch with councils and organisations who hold private data to help build a full understanding of the project challenge and background. For some projects, this data analysis requires a site visit. This picture of me is the day I went to prison. I always get some odd looks when I say that, but rather than anything else, it was to assess the potential flood risk to the prison facilities and surrounding area. It's really cool to see an in-person application of the work we were doing. The combination of this research feeds into writing a final report for the project, whether that's a flood risk assessment, environmental impact assessment, or in support of planning proposals for housing development. This report relies heavily on modelling and spatial data mapping we did using ArcGIS, QGIS, and modelling softwares such as TwoFlow to model flood levels. While not often an opportunity for student engineers, I was really fortunate to be able to ask to attend an on-site presentation of my findings with a colleague for one of my projects. This was so cool to be able to discuss and compare what we had found through research with the everyday experiences of the people on the site and gain first-hand knowledge from them that we could put into our report. This placement was an amazing opportunity to learn about the water management industry, but also more about myself, my skills, the areas I could improve. Throughout my placement, I have frequently had check-ins with my line manager and requested feedback from colleagues throughout. Some of the key strengths that colleagues noticed in me were my enthusiasm, positivity in day-to-day work, and challenges I faced throughout the projects. They observed that I was professional and good at communicating, a skill I was able to exercise through organising and speaking in meetings throughout the year. I was also trustworthy, leading to greater responsibility as the year went on, such as me being the key contact for a large number of site visits for a project, emailing the clients and speaking to people to organise dates and when things would work. Colleagues also had pointers for areas to continue to work on, such as continuing to ask questions. No question is a silly question. I was also encouraged to share my opinion and approaches to problems with colleagues and challenge everything I disagreed with, as everyone can get something wrong, no matter what stage of your career you're at or how high up you are. So it's good to be able to point those out and discuss what different people think about it. My development throughout the year falls into two wide categories: personal development and professional development. While professional development has been really important, I have seen clear improvement in my technical knowledge, my writing style, things like that. Arguably, personal development has been more important to me. I've noticed a clear development in my self-confidence, allowing me to be more open about sharing my experiences and opinions and approaches I have to problems, something which I historically struggled with. A year working in industry has also helped me learn how to express myself effectively and efficiently in person and in written work. One of the key things I enjoyed from the year was improving my work-life balance. Having an approach of a working day from 9 to 5 helped me be more productive, boost my motivation, and learn best about how I learn. This also helped me maintain better mental health, with keeping evenings and weekends free from work, so I have space to rest and do activities that boost my mental health, such as spending time with friends and going on walks. This workday approach is something I'm now applying to my final year of university, which is helping me keep on top of work and helping stop myself getting burnt out. This year has opened a door to a career path that I'm really passionate about, and I can't wait to keep learning more about it. I've spent time with an incredible group of professionals in the industry, with different specialisms, building a supportive network of colleagues. I've also been offered a graduate job with Arcadis as part of their 3-year GROW program as a water management engineer. This will be a great stepping stone in building my experience, increasing my employability for the longer term, and a first step towards chartership with CIWEM, the Chartered Institution of Water and Environmental Management. This is the start of a career that I can really grow in, and I can picture myself working in the long term. So all that's really left to say is to summarise that this has been an incredible year, one that has kick-started my career, but also, more importantly, produced a new, more resilient version of me, which will kind of support me throughout my final year of university and beyond. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions about my experience or where my journey with Arcadis is going and my next steps, please feel free to contact me via email. And yes, thank you again.